Okay, so I am excited to get started with y'all for Super Saturday 2022. I can't believe it's 2022. It seems crazy to say. Okay, so some highlights of some things that we did at Super Saturday. First, if y'all missed the Super Saturday, I'm just going to kind of touch on some of the big things that they announced for us. Pineapple lemongrass active is here to stay. So if you missed that and you love that flavor, get excited because it is no longer a seasonal flavor. It is now permanent and will always be here. And with that launch, they announced a buy two, get one free on the active. So if you buy two actives, any flavor, so we have 3 permanent active flavors now, buy any 2 flavors. And if you're a US ambassador, you will get a free Immune Plus. If you're Canadian, you get a free bottle of Ease. So great promo going on right now. Make sure you're promoting that. And active should be one of your primary products that you're promoting, that you're using, that your customers are using. So really start promoting that if you're not already. Joyome Collagen is now available in the Canadian market. They announced, yay! They announced Gold School, which is a new thing that they're implementing. It's going to be held quarterly for any golds, for any new golds or existing gold and above who develop a gold. So if you're a ruby or an emerald or whatever rank you are, if you get a level 1 gold, you also can go to Gold School. And so the first one is going to be held in Dallas on April 9th, and the qualification period is this month through March 31st. So you either need to go gold for the first time or get a new level 1 gold. And then they announced Rubies on the Rise, which I'm really excited about this for our new rubies. They will be actually going to Scottsdale, get to see the home office. I mean, y'all, there is nothing like going to home office. Like it gives, I mean, every time I go, it just solidifies all the belief that I have in this company. And it just makes you so proud to be with Plexus. And so I think Ruby is the perfect rank to send people to so that they really feel like leaders, they feel excited, they get to experience home office. And so that's really cool. So the qualification period for that is January through June 30th, and that event will happen in July. So if you are not Ruby yet, mark that on your calendar and make that happen. Now this is, if you develop a ruby, this does not count. This is for new rubies. So that's kind of some of the highlights I wanted to cover with y'all with Super Saturday. There were some other really great trainings that they did on talking about going gold and going ruby, and we had lots of diamonds come in and speak. But the part that I just really, really loved is when Shailene Johnson came in and shared with us about the Instagram training. And so that is what we're going to jump into right now, is the Instagram branding section of this. Sorry, I'm letting people into the group as I'm talking, so I'm not very good at multitasking. So I'm just going to hop right in on this Instagram branding. And so again, if you just now joined in, I really, really want to start by asking you to be open-minded, because there are some things changing in the social media market, and we are solely focusing on Instagram. If you don't use Instagram at all, this is kind of perfect for you. If you're starting fresh and brand new, you're going to love this, because I'm going to give you direction on what to do. If you already have an Instagram account, you might dig your heels in a little bit, because I did, but I can share with you some things that I'm doing that has made me actually really excited about this. So she talked to us about, first started with saying what is not working any longer on Instagram that once was. So I wanted to highlight some of those things with you. The overly branded or themed grids. You might have saw the old influencers. They had the perfect grids. They might have had a quote, photo, photo, quote, photo, photo, quote, photo, photo on the grid. It seemed like really overwhelming and a lot of work to do, but it was what was working for influencers. That is no longer working. The single photo post. So if you're just posting a photo and adding a long caption underneath it, it's not working. Nobody wants to see that. Overly personal content, put that on Facebook, share that stuff with your friends over there. Don't get all vulnerable and mushy-gushy. I know this is what I've taught y'all to do. I know this is what we've heard in the past, and this is totally different. but that's no longer working on Instagram. Product posting to feed. This is hard. And this is what she even said this on stage. She was like, I talked to the execs before I said I would share this, but don't be posting your products on your feed, on the main wall. Testimonies even, don't be posting them on your main wall. All of that stuff goes in your stories. That's where you should be posting every single day, throughout the day, the products you're taking, videos of you mixing them up, explanations of what's happening in, go live and explain why this product is so good. Be talking about it nonstop in your stories, but not in your feed. Cold messaging people, the hey girl type messages, adding link stickers, the overly curated, perfect, all using the same filter, everything looking pretty. It's no longer working, which that's kind of nice because there's a lot of pressure to create that perfect look on Instagram in the past. It's no longer working. Monologues where you just got a lot to say, and company specific hashtags. Now, we use those a lot if we want to find each other. If you want to see each other's posts, like during convention, we'll have the company specific hashtags, but do not think for a hot second that's doing anything for your business. All you're doing is attracting other Plexus people. And that's not what we want to do, right? We want to actually use Instagram to convert people to a sale. That should be the goal. If you're spending a lot of time on Instagram and you're not gaining anybody, you're just spending a lot of time that's not doing anything for your business. And honestly, if I'm being real honest, I spent a lot of time on Instagram and I think I've had 2 leads and I don't think either one of them bought from me. So honestly, it's done me no good. All of my customers, all of my ambassadors, everybody is coming in from personal relationships that I've known in real life, that have met out in public, that I've cultivated. They have not come from strangers. But that's a problem. That's a me problem. I am doing something wrong because Instagram is a place where we can get strangers and convert them to customers. So that's why I'm really excited about making some massive changes in how I do things. So let's talk about what is working in 2021. So value-based feed content. So everything that you post should offer value to somebody else. So, to a stranger at that. So everything you post should offer value to a stranger. That's why they're saying don't get personal. A stranger does not care about, your cute family and the, what's going on in your life. They care about themselves. They're coming to your page for value. Reels are working. I put read, sorry, reels. You should be posting reels all the time, especially if you're starting fresh. You're going to need to post a reel a day. That's how you're going to grow your Instagram account. Don't be afraid of reels. Y'all know I love them. I have trainings on the team page. If you're like, I don't know what a reel is, this is the first time I've heard about it. Let me know. I can tag you. But just have fun with it. And you can make any reel based on your what your niche is going to be, but I'll get into that in just a minute. Carousels. So that's when you see someone post multiple photos and it says like swipe left to see. So those are working. So I've been seeing that a lot lately too. Single subject accounts. That's when your account is only about one thing. So no longer should our accounts be used to, we would say, find 3 to 5 things you focus on. That is no longer the case. The only people who have the luxury to do that and grow are those people who already have over 100,000 followers. If you already have over 100,000 followers, you can continue to talk about whatever you want, but I don't think any of us do. So we have to pick one subject. And this is where I said, be open-minded with me on this, because I know for most of us, I know for me, that is very, very difficult. What's working? Solving a specific problem for a specific demographic. So whatever that topic is, hopefully it solves a specific problem for a specific demographic. You should have share-worthy content. So every time you post something to your wall, somebody else should want to share it. It should be adding so much value that they want to share what you just posted. Posting to your feed a minimum of 1 time a day. Stories throughout the day. creating curiosity. Okay, so this next one is where it's going to take a whole lot of pressure off of you, because I feel like kind of what I've said so far feels like a lot of work, but sharing others' content. So 90% of what you're doing, you don't have to create. So sharing others' content is actually working really, really well in the Instagram space. And that's where all the pressure will be taken off of you. And then automation, even using Instagram apps that will automate the post, and you can go ahead and put them in and they post them for you. It's actually working. Okay, so order is everything. So there's an order to the way you want to do things. So you want the very first thing I want you guys to be doing and thinking about tonight and tomorrow is, what is your niche going to be? Pick one subject. Think about it. It should be something that, fuels you, that you're excited about, something that you're reading books about all the time, something that you could speak about for hours, something that you love to learn about, something you're passionate about. Like, that's your niche. So you need to decide what you're going to focus on. The second thing you want to do is you want to attract the right followers. So interact with other people that are interested in your niche, because they're going to want to follow you if you're interacting with them and they see, oh, she does what I'm interested in. But here's something that makes Plexus people so very, very special is we don't have to pick a niche that's in our market. You know why? People need health, like all people. So every single person on Instagram needs what we have. We're not selling makeup, so we only have to market women. We're not selling, fingernails or books that are for children. We're selling a product that all people need. So regardless what your niche is that you pick, your audience needs Plexus. And so that's a really, really cool, special place that we are in. So you can pick a niche that's crocheting or hiking, or it doesn't need to be in the health and wellness category. In the past, I've always said, brand yourself in health and happiness. You don't really have to do that. If you want to brand yourself in puppies, or very specific type of puppies, or poodle puppies, or if you want to brand yourself, I don't know, just something super random, there are people behind those accounts that are following you, that are obsessed with what you're sharing, and people need health. So honestly, attract the right followers was something she shared, but I think any followers are the right followers for Plexus. So that's a good thing for us. Create curiosity. You want people to have a reason to keep coming back to your page. You want to keep giving them just little nuggets, but not everything, so that they keep coming back. Then you want to build a relationship. Now, relationships are built in stories. This is where stories is super important. On your page, you're on your feed, you're a teacher. In your stories, you're a person. And that's where they get to know you. That's where they get to trust you. That's where they hear about Plexus. So this is why it's so important to post on your wall, share people's content, but go into your stories, and this is where they get to know who you are. And then the very last thing, after you've done those things, that's when you start offering your solution. Make sure you do all the steps first before you're offering Plexus as a solution. Don't start offering Plexus before you pick your niche. You want to do these things in the right order, so that you're building that trust with your audience. You get that like, know, and trust thing in place. And then when you share Plexus, they're going to want to buy from you because they love what you've offered on your page. And it's kind of interesting how when you sell in your stories, people don't feel sold to, but when you sell on your wall, people feel spammed. And so it's interesting how that happens, but they're trusting you in your stories, because that's where they're getting to know you, and you're talking about other things too. And it's just like, oh, this is just part of her life, not something she's selling. This is who she is, And so that's why this order is important. So now let's talk about your niche. So some of you might be thinking you already know what your niche is, and some of you may have absolutely zero idea, and that's okay. You don't have to be an expert in the niche you pick. So I want to make sure that y'all are very clear on that, because that was kind of the first thing I was like kind of concerned about. So I picked my niche to be parenting teenagers who are kind of outside of the box thinkers using gentle parenting or attachment parenting. I'm failing y'all at parenting teenagers right now. And so I'm like, I am not an expert at this. However, I'm currently reading 4 different parenting books right now. Like I'm like gaining all of this stuff that I really want to put somewhere. I really want to share. Every time I read it, I'm like, I need to share this somewhere. And so that's why I decided this would be a great niche for me to focus on right now. I have a teenager staring at me as I say this. She's like, you think you're an expert? Go away. And so, but here's the really cool thing. You don't have to be an expert because you can reshare content. I want y'all, if you have your phones with you right now, I want you to look at the Instagram account at Home Workouts for You. So go ahead and pull that up. It's Home Workouts _ for the letter or the number 4 and the letter U. So this is one of Shailene Johnson's accounts, her personal account. She has 600. This is not, she said she has 10 Instagram accounts. This is just one of her 10. She's got 629,000 followers and 3,560 posts. I want to see if somebody here wants to guess how many of these posts she made personally of those 3,560 posts. Anybody want to take a guess? Throw it in the chat. Holly, what do you think? Oh, you're muted. Zero. She made it look, she's right. 0, y'all. 3,560 posts. She shared every single one of them. She came up with nothing. She literally went to other people's Instagram accounts, shared what they posted, and she has 629,000 followers. You don't have to do the work. Like, so I hope that kind of lifts a little bit of stress off you. And I love that she showed us that to us, because I thought that was just crazy. Like, I think that sometimes we feel like we have to recreate the wheel, but we don't. So make it super specific though. The more narrow, the better. Like, I didn't just choose parenting teens. I choose parenting teenagers that are outside of the box using attachment parenting, because that's how I raised them when they were little. And there is no support for that when they become teenagers. People only want to talk about being attached to babies. And so I thought that would be a great little niche for me. And it doesn't need to have anything to do with health. Like we talked about earlier, health is for all people. And so you just need to find a niche that is something that you're passionate about. There's a person behind the people who are following you, and people need health. And so find a niche that you love. And at the end, I put, if all else fails, you can make a second account, because this is what I did. So I just could not let go of my account that I've created. I like sharing things on Instagram and just having them automatically go on Facebook. I have people who I have friends that follow me on Instagram that aren't on Facebook as much. I really, really like making stupid reels that are just funny and that aren't about parenting. So I wanted to keep my Beautiful Sweet Disaster account, and I created a whole new account for my niche. And it's kind of an experiment. I'm going to see what's going to happen, but I so far am really excited about what's happening. But if you do have an Instagram account that you don't use very often, that you're not super attached to, I really encourage you to use the one you have. You already have followers there. Use those people and start your niche there. But if you're super attached to your account, I get it. So Now, how do we find and share content? This was my first thought when she kept saying she was sharing content. Instagram doesn't let you share it, right? There's no easy way to share things. And so this is where I was like, how do you do that? So the app that I use is called Reposta, and it's super, super easy to use. So first thing you need to do is you need to find something you want to share. So just look at hashtags on the top, on the niche that you're looking at. Look through the memes or the photos or the posts or the reels that you're interested in. And then you just copy the link. And then I go into Reposta. All I do is paste the link, click preview, click share, and it puts it straight to my Instagram account. It copies the words there, so I can just click paste on the words. I can edit it a little bit, and it even adds the share, the via or reshared from at and the person I reshared it from, so that person gets credit too. So it's the most easy app to share things from. So Repost is the app. Like, pull out your phone, download it right now if you don't already have a reposting app. Because that's going to make your life a whole lot easier. And again, do not be afraid. Do not feel like you need to if you're going to be posting every single day, don't try to create new content every single day unless you're just like an uber expert at whatever your field is. Reshare other people's stuff. So that's basically all there is to finding and sharing the content. It was way, way easier than I thought it was going to be. So let's look at our potential customers' journey. Like, what does it look like for when they are, coming to your Instagram account and eventually becoming customers? So your feed post is usually the way they find you, and the way they find your feed post is through your hashtags. So make sure you're adding those hashtags to those posts. That's how they're going to find you. But your bio is going to be what convinces them to follow you. They're going to go to your feed post, then they're likely going to click on your bio, and that's what's going to make their decision to follow you. Stories is where they're going to start to like you. Those personal messages, when you're messaging them on their stories or they're messaging you and you're responding back to them, that's how they're going to start to trust you. And then you're going to get the sale, and that's when they're going to buy from you. But it needs to go, and that's another thing that's going to go in that order. If you skip your stories, they never get to like you. They never get the opportunity to DM you, so they never begin to trust you. And honestly, this is one area I'm real guilty about. I'm hit or miss on stories. But guess what you can do in stories? Anybody have a guess? You can share content. You don't have to use your own content in stories either. Again, if you just have a day where you have nothing to say, like I have lots of those days, just share content in your stories that stick with your niche. Honestly, the more this was drilled into me, it sounds so much easier to have a niche account than it does to have my personal account. Like, I mean, honestly, my personal account's a lot of work because I am creating all the content over there. Like, I do have to come up with that. That's me. This isn't me. This is just stuff I'm sharing from other people, and I'm learning along the way. So let's talk about your bio. So this is my new account. I started it after Super Saturday. I have 15 followers. And so I wanted to kind of go through what your bio should look like. So first and foremost, your username. This is the name, the big name right here where it says Bringing Up Bigs. So if this is your main account and you aren't just tied to the username that you have, make it your first and last name. Because if you're having friends search for you, if it's your number one account, people are looking for you, they need to be able to type in your name and your account comes up. Now your name, where it says, when you go edit profile, it says name, something that's very important to know. This is the only searchable thing to help them find your account. So whatever is in that name better be what people are searching for. If you don't have something in your name, if you just put your name again right there, or like my account, I have Beautiful Sweet Disaster as my thing, and then I have my name, Nikki Hinkle. So no one's finding it by searching for a specific topic. So make sure that name, when you click edit profile, is what your niche is. So I put gentle parenting teens. I actually am going to take out, I can't edit it anymore. I've edited it like 10 times that day. So it's stuck at that right now. I think I'm going to take Nikki completely out because on this account, people don't need to know my name. I'll probably talk about it in my stories, but I don't think they need that for searching. And I could add maybe something else in there. because you would get a limited number of characters. I think you get 30 characters. Now, for your photo, this needs to be your face. This needs to be your face zoomed in. It does not need to be a full length body picture. It does not need to be you and your spouse. It does not need to be you and your kids. I literally just changed this because originally I had me and all the kids because I thought that would be perfect for, a parenting teenagers. But she told us, make it your picture. And then I went to looking at all of these other parenting teenager Instagram accounts that have lots of followers. It's all their face. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen. I'm going to make it my face. People want to see what you look like. So, and in your bio, what it needs to say specifically is I help, or I serve, or I support. And then who do you serve? By, and how do you do that? So this is something I want you really thinking about. Who are you serving by your account, and how are you serving them? So I am supporting moms of teens and tweens who are outside of the box thinkers by sharing my struggles and successes with gentle parenting. So who are you serving, and how are you doing that? And that's all that needs to be. So those are the main things. You want to know your username. If this is your primary account, make that your name, unless you just love your name that it is right now, which I get that. Where it says name when you edit profile, that's the searchable key. So that's a non-negotiable. That needs to be something that's your niche right there. Make your profile picture your picture, and make your bio say, I help by. So some other tips, some kind of last minute tips now I wanted to kind of follow up with. So use 10 to 12 niche hashtags. We're no longer using 30. That was kind of the old school thought process. They seem to be kind of blocking them when you use too many. So just pick 10 to 12. Change them up with each post. Don't use the same 10 to 12 every time. Kind of rotate through it and make those very specific to the post that you just made. Make sure your account is professional or creator. Either one. She didn't really go into specific. I've still never understood the difference between the two, and she didn't really go into that, but either are great. Just make sure you do not have a personal Instagram account. Only content that reaches new people is on your feed. Okay, so what's that saying? Is the only way to reach new people is what you're posting on your feed. Your stories isn't going to reach new people. Your stories is going to build the relationships with the people that you already have. What's on your feed is what reaches new people. It's where you want reels and hashtags. And reels, y'all, I posted a reel yesterday. Yesterday, I had 8 followers. And that one reel I posted, somebody shared it. I was so excited. Somebody shared it, and it has 4,000 views on an account with 8 followers. So y'all, reels are amazing. I was pretty proud of that. So again, stories, you can post anything and everything. You don't have to stick with your niche in stories. Show people who you are. Share all the things that you love. If you're like, oh, but I want to share this and I want to share this, great, do that, but do that in your stories. Make sure your feed posts are share worthy and offer value. Your number one goal should be, did my post get shared? Like, you should be asking yourself every time you make a post, would somebody share this? So that should be your goal. Once somebody shares things, that's when you get likes, things go viral, people follow you. Use polls in your stories to get leads. I know I've talked to y'all about this a lot, so hopefully that's something that you're familiar with doing. And y'all, let's have fun with this. Don't let it stress you out, but I really challenge you to give it a try and picking a niche and going with it. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I just wanted to kind of chat with y'all. Actually, I'm going to stop the recording too.